Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the spark plugs on a 98 Lexus ES300. This is considered a particularly difficult task by a lot of people on the internet, so I just want to show you that it's not that hard at all if you do it the right way. So let's get started. First thing you're going to need is a 5mm Allen wrench just to take off these two bolts right here that just hold the cover on. So take those two bolts out, remove the top, and let me flip the camera around. So you'll see you'll need to disconnect the spark plug wire from the coil, and I'm just going to do these one at a time so you can see, and I won't make you watch all the redundant parts. So just pull the coil off the top of the spark plug, and I recommend before you go any further that you maybe spray some compressed air down in here and get any dirt or dust out before you remove the spark plug. Then take your handy dandy spark plug wrench, and I do absolutely recommend you get a spark plug socket, and I'll actually show you why. So just loosen up the spark plug and take it out of here, and you will need several extensions, as you'll see. So then get your new spark plug, and I absolutely recommend that you get some anti-seize compound. You can pick this up at any little parts store. It's usually like $1. Apply some to the threads. You know, because of the temperature changes and how hot it gets, you don't want this to not have it. So you see, that's a spark plug socket. It's got a rubber gasket in there that holds the spark plug in so that it won't fall out. See, a regular socket, the spark plug would have fallen out. This lets you place the spark plug in gently without bending up the electrode. And that's another point is make sure you have the electrodes gapped. In this case, they're gapped to 43 thousandths. If you don't have a spark plug gapper or don't know how to gap them, most part stores will gap it for you, or you can even buy a lot of them pre-gapped. So I definitely recommend that you gap the spark plugs according to your car's manufacturer recommendations. Now I got my torque wrench out, and in the case of this car, it's probably similar on many vehicles. It's just this is 13 foot-pounds of torque, and if you can, on these front ones, it's easy. I definitely recommend you torque them back into place correctly. You don't want them to be so loose they shot out. I've had that happen before. And had to put a helicoil in, and you don't want them to be too tight that that they seize up in there and you cross thread it or never get them back out again. So then just put the coil back over. This is a number 10 bolt right here that you had to take out. I may have skipped that part, but yeah, there's just a number 10 to get the coil off, and then reconnect the spark plug wire. That's pretty much all you have to do for these first three. This is a V6, so it's pretty easy, and I'm going to go through the other two, but thankfully I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to watch it. Same concept as before. Remove the number 10, holding the coil in, remove the spark plug wire, pull the coil off the top, loosen the spark plug and remove it. And before you do that, blow some air down in there to get any dirt or dust out. Remove the spark plug, take your new spark plug, make sure it's gapped, throw some anti-seize compound on it, put it back in there, and then torque it to the correct specifications. And then once you get done with these first three, you are halfway done. Unfortunately, the ones on the back aren't nearly as easy. I don't want to say they're hard. Two of them are actually fairly easy. One in the middle is medium difficulty at best. So let's go to the first one on the back. This one's pretty easy to get to. You can see it right there. Watch me with my finger. I'm just going to grab it with my fingers and go ahead and pull the boot off. And again, I'm doing this with one hand while holding a camera in the other. So if I can do it with one hand, you can certainly use two to get to it. So just remove your boot. And this is where some extensions are going to come in handy. Definitely want to have a 6-inch and a 3-inch extension. So we're just going to use a 6-inch extension on this one. So I'm just going to slide the spark plug socket with the extension on. I'm going to go ahead and slide it into place and get it on the spark plug. And then once I get that done, I will reach in with the ratchet and put it on. And that'll get this bottom one out. So, or this one on the side. This is the passenger side that we're working on right now. So other than your ratchet slipping off like mine did because I didn't have it locked in, this one's pretty easy to get to, and it just might take a few minutes because you don't have a lot of range of motion on your ratchet, but this one's not hard to get to and take out. Now let's go to the other one. So go right here And I'll show you. I'm going to pull my hand in from the passenger side. Remember, I'm holding the camera in my right hand. This is my left hand coming from the passenger side, and this is the boot that you need to take off. So I'm going to turn the camera on for a better angle. Now I'm coming at it from the driver's side. So the camera's in my left hand, and I'm pulling this boot off with my right hand while leaning over the passenger, the driver quarter panel. So pretty easy to get this boot off. You can do most of this just by working from right above the engine, right near the firewall. And then once you get the boot off that one, if you can get a can of compressed air in there to blow any dirt and dust out, great idea. And then we're just going to drop the spark plug socket with an extension on it, my 6-inch extension still. And then not much to this. You can get the ratchet on, and you actually have a decent amount of movement to get this one out as well. You may have a little struggle just because it's hard to see back there. So now I'm coming at it to get more range of motion. I actually put my 3-inch extension on my ratchet, and that's going into a 6-inch extension on the socket. And that just gave me a lot more range of motion on the ratchet to let me get the job done quicker. And generally what you do is just loosen it up. As soon as you get it loose enough that you can spin it with your fingers, go ahead and take your ratchet off and just use your fingers to pull the spark plug out. It'll save you so much time. Even if you need to clean your hands up or put some gloves on that have some rubber grip, because they're going to get greasy and all, you'll save yourself a ton of time if you can spin this out with your finger instead of having to use the ratchet to loosen it and remove it the entire way. But hopefully, if you've been doing this long enough or any length of time at all, you're already familiar with that technique. So this is the spark plug on the driver's side. So now we've we've replaced the front three, we've replaced the one on the driver's side, and the one on the passenger side. And that just leaves one spark plug, which is in the middle between the two we just took out, between the engine and the firewall. And let me show you. Here's my camera. This camera is coming in from the driver's side, so it's shooting from the driver's side. My hand is coming in from the passenger side, and here's the boot right here. So that's the boot you're going to be working with. Shouldn't have any trouble reaching back there and getting the boot off. Of course, I do have pretty small hands. If your hands are too big to get back there, maybe hire a kid to come back there and help you. Now I'm going to do very similar to before. I've got my socket and my 6-inch extension. I'm just going to drop it in from above. I basically just fed that in from above the engine, between the engine and the firewall. And now you kind of have to just feel your way around to get your ratchet back in here. And you may need to use both hands unless you luck out and it's just perfectly lined up. But I ended up using one hand to kind of spin the ratchet a little bit so that it would line up and slide in there. And then once I got it in there, this was the hardest one just because you have such little range of motion. It takes a little while to basically get it out. So as soon as you get it loose, use your hand to take it out the rest of the way. And that's it. It's not nearly as hard as I see people on the internet making it out to be. But hopefully this video kind of helps you and shows you how to replace these without having to take it in. Hope that helps. Have any questions, let me know. Thank you. See you next time.